What's up guys, EFL League One Hub here, and today I bring another video, and, well, I say video, podcast, but this is going to come out slightly later than it should, to be fair. It's a preview video of tonight's games. They kick off in about 2 hours, 40 minutes. So slightly late, and for that reason I don't have prep, so we'll have to see how this one goes. Anyhow, it should be alright. I should be fine. Just if you hear clicks, it's just from my laptop, which I'm using to help get this video out faster. So we'll start with the first game, and that's AFC Wimbledon versus Peterborough. It's going to be like this for every game now for Wimbledon, though, but it is must-win for them. They beat a very tough Doncaster side on Saturday. Brilliant result for them, and they need to win again if they're to stand any chance. Well, they've obviously still got chance, but there's 10 games left now of the season, which isn't a lot of time. And obviously you're not going to win every one of those 10 games. I highly doubt they're going to win all 10 games. So they kick it off against 7th place Peterborough, but also Peterborough really need to win this. Because if they lose this and Blackpool win tonight, yes, they're still on the same points, but Doncaster still have a game in hand. And even if Peterborough lose tonight and Doncaster win, there's going to be a 3 points difference, and Doncaster will have a game in hand. So they really need to win. I'm also going to include predictions in this, by the way. But my prediction is for a Peterborough win, and I'm going Peterborough 2, Wimbledon 0. Next up, probably up there, there's 2 games this week, which I think this match week, which I think are the biggest games of today, and the next 2 come up right now. You can decide which one's bigger. I think this one just edges it, and it's Barnsley versus Sunderland, 2nd versus 3rd. Barnsley lose tonight, Sunderland go 1 point behind them, and Sunderland have a game in hand, which would then back up my theory of, not my theory, but my prediction of what I thought would happen in the league table. Go watch yesterday's video if you haven't already. But both sides battling for the automatics, obviously, as I just said, 2nd versus 3rd. Can't really big it up anymore. If Barnsley win tonight and Luton somehow lose, then Barnsley are joint top as well. So we'll have it's massive. This game This game does have big impacts on what the season, the end of the season is going to look like. But I'm going to go Sunderland 1, Barnsley 0. They could end up in a draw, and Barnsley could win. It's another really hard game to predict, but I am going, as a matter of fact, for Sunderland 1, Barnsley 1. As I said yesterday, I don't think Barnsley will make the playoffs. Well, automatic, sorry. Next up, in contention for the game of the week, but if I was doing a game of the week, that is, and that's Blackpool versus Doncaster. Massive game, 8 versus 6. Really decides what will happen, who the playoff fights between, really. If Blackpool win, Blackpool, Peterborough and Doncaster all still in it, obviously. But if Doncaster win, Blackpool will be out of it pretty much. They'll be 6 points behind, plus Doncaster will have a game in hand. So big on this, on deciding what happens with the playoffs. Blackpool obviously drew at the weekend, and will be expecting a larger crowd than they've had all season, minus last Saturday, but again, that was a Saturday game, and a lot of fans will have travelled especially. Anyhow, I do think part of me is leaning towards a Blackpool win because Doncaster don't have top scorer John Marquis. But I'm still think that Doncaster, in my opinion, won't win. I don't think. So I'm going Blackpool 1, Doncaster 1. Next up is Bradford versus Luton. Bradford, obviously 23rd, got new manager Gary Boyer versus Luton, who are obviously top of the league. So, really opposite ends. Luton need to win. Yes, they need to win. At the stage where they are, if they want to win this league, they've got to win most of their remaining games. But so do Bradford, and I'm gonna go far out there. I'm gonna go Bradford 1, Luton 0. I get the feeling that Bradford might, highly unlikely, and even now I'm doubting whether that is right, but I'm going to stick to my guns, and I'm going to say Bradford 1, Luton 0. Imagine the scenes if Bradford beat Luton, but Bradford could do with if Bradford win, they will really look good to be staying up this year under the new manager Gary Boyer. Got a great first result on Saturday. Next up, Charlton Burton. Charlton pretty much safe in the playoffs now. As I said yesterday, they're 8 points clear of Doncaster. So really, not that much to play for. The 10 points off the automatics, 8 points out of dropping out of the playoffs. So really, not much to play for now at the end of the season till later. Burton still not safe, but not really anything to lose really much. So I don't think there's going to be much inspiration, and I am going to go for 0-0 in that game. Next up, Coventry Fleetwood, big game, 9th versus 10th. Fleetwood need to win to stay near. Well, if Fleetwood win, they'll go on to 52 points. Coventry win, they go on 53. It's really as simple as that. A point between them, but I don't think there's going to be anything really to separate them. I think they're both out of the playoff race now, and so I am going to go Coventry 1, Fleetwood 1. Gillingham versus Bristol. You've got 13th versus 19th. Gillingham only on 43 points, which is only not even 6. It's only 4 points off the drop. So Gillingham aren't safe yet, despite being in 13th. And Bristol only the point off, so it's a massive game. But I do think Gillingham are going to win 1-0, backed by the home crowd. Next up, Plymouth versus Shrewsbury. Again, another one of the relegation scraps. Plymouth only on 42 points. That's That's only 3 points clear of the drop zone. And and Shrewsbury are 20th on 40 points, which is only a point clear. I do think Plymouth will win. I'm going to go 1-0 Plymouth. I think all the games tonight are going to be close, and that is a must-win. If Shrewsbury don't win this, who knows? That could be a point where their season's already gone downhill after coming third last year, but I can't see them winning away at Plymouth. I'm going Plymouth 1, Shrewsbury 0. Next up, Rochdale versus Oxford. Again, I think it's another one of those. Yeah, it's 22nd versus 21st, even bigger. If Oxford win, Oxford will more than likely go out of the relegation zone. If Rochdale win, they won't go out of the relegation zone because of their goal difference, but they will be at least level on points to go out of the bottom be level on points out as above the dotted line. But I really don't see a split in them. I'm going to have to say Rochdale 0, Oxford 0. Next up, Scunthorpe vs Southend. Again, one of these really big games, 6-pointers you can say, 41 points versus 42 points. So 14th versus 18th, both not clear. I'm leaning towards a Southend win though. They have looked good. I watched them Saturday when they came to Blackpool, being a Blackpool fan myself, and they played all right, but they didn't look a good start. They didn't look the best, to be fair. They only scored from 2 corners, which were poor defended. But I do think Southend, off the back of a 2-2 draw, which they could have won if it wasn't for a 96th minute own goal. So I'm going Southend 1, Scunthorpe 0. Now we're on to Portsmouth vs Walsall. Again, Portsmouth, like Charlton, they're only 8 points off automatic, but that's still a hell of a load. And they're 10 points off dropping out the playoffs, so nothing really to play for at the moment until the playoffs roll around. Walsall, however, are on 42 points in 16th. And being at home, again, this is going to come as a big shock, but I'm going to go Walsall 1, Portsmouth 0. Big shock. And then up next is Wycombe against Accrington. Wycombe, again, you could argue whether this is a 6-pointer or not. Wycombe on 44 points, that's only 5 points clear of the relegation zone, which sounds like a lot, but that's only a couple of losses and everyone below them to do well. So, but I do see, and Accrington need this more, but even despite that, I think Wycombe will come through with the win. I do see Wycombe winning 2-1 tonight against Accrington. So yeah, Wycombe 2, Accrington 1. Anyway, thank you for listening to this podcast. If you made it the whole way through, that's brilliant. Please leave a like and subscribe, and maybe even share the video. Anyway, for now, I've been EFL League One Hub. Goodbye.